Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Secrets of a Successful Technology Partnership. My name is Jill, and I'm going to be facilitating the webinar today. And today we have Andre from Viral Marketing joining us. And Viral Marketing is an agency partner with Vertical Response. And Andre is going to talk about some things about using our system that he has enjoyed. Just a couple things before I jump into a little more information. The webinar should be around probably about 30 minutes. At the end, there will be time for Q&A. So if you do think of questions along the way, go ahead and type those into the box that you see in your GoToWebinar window, and we'll be happy to answer those questions at the end of the webinar. So today, our presenters are Andre Pacini. He is the CEO from Viral Marketing, and they do all the work for their clients to generate referral and repeat business from their past clients and customers using video and social media. They use their ACE system, which is founded on principles and systems of vertical response. And from Vertical Response, we have Derek Overby, and he is the Senior Social Media Manager here at Vertical Response. Derek has been blogging since 2006 and using social media since 2007. So he has lots of experience and information about using social media, and he's going to be talking about that later on in the presentation today. So let's go ahead and jump into our questions. First of all, we're going to talk a little bit here about what using Vertical Response can do for your agency. This is something that you can offer to people who are using you or can use on their own. You can offer email and social media marketing for your clients. You can also give them a self-service portal. You're able to expand your own brand with branded email marketing, and you can streamline all of this because as a partner, you get a special account with a special dashboard which will allow you to administer different accounts associated with you. You can create emails and social media posts for the people using your system, or you can help them use their own accounts through that. You're also able to earn a commission or a discount on email purchases if you're using this particular product that we offer. So with that, let's go ahead and get into our questions. So we asked Andre some questions, and he is going to give us some really interesting information about email marketing and using Vertical Response. So our first question for you today, Andre, is why did you decide to offer email marketing services for your clients? And what specific business or marketing problem were you trying to solve for your clients?
So the problem we saw was in the marketplace was that service professionals don't stay in touch with their contacts, with their past clients, their current clients, and their relationships. And there's been a lot of studies that show that, with your database, you have to stay in touch with at least 33 times a year for top-of-mind awareness and referrals. So, we were looking at that and going, okay, how can we help this? And there's really only a couple of options to stay in touch with the database. One is you can do phone calls, but if you had a database of 3,000 people, calling them twice a month, or to get 33 times a year, it's just unpractical. The other option you can do is direct mail. You can mail them stuff every single month, but we know how mail goes, and sometimes it does well. I do like direct mail, but it's just the cost of that is going to be so excruciating. So really, that's kind of how we came up to email. Is that it's a very effective, it's low cost, and it's a very scalable way to stay in touch with the database. And not to mention the fact that email is actually trackable, so you can actually see who opens and clicks your emails, as opposed to direct mail, who you have no idea if they actually got it or not, or phone calls if you're just leaving voicemails all day long. So that's why we decided to go down the road of email, and that's kind of the problem we saw was getting people to stay in touch with their database on a cost-effective and a time-efficient way of doing it.
And one of the things that you had talked about is sending emails and getting some information from how people are interacting with the emails, not only for referrals, but watching the videos that you mentioned. And up on the screen right now, we have just a screenshot of a dashboard. And this is just an overview of what you would see in an account when you've sent out your email. We can provide Open information, clicks, bounces, unsubscribes, that's kind of an overview. You can even dig in deeper and see which links are performing better. You can see that at the bottom of the page there, that you can see the number of times each link was clicked, which gives you insight into your recipients. And for this email, it was your video, which isn't surprising because that's the purpose of your emails, right, is to get people to watch your videos. And so that was the highest clicked link in your email. But we give this information to you so that you can see how your recipients are interested in your email, the parts that they're finding important, so that you can continue to give them the information that they're looking for. So let's move on to question number 2. And this is, what vertical response products do you use specifically?
I guess specifically, we use the WYSIWYG editor. What you see is what you get, so we can design our own email templates. The other thing that we use is the way our account is set up with Vertical Response. So we have a parent account, and then we have multiple sub-accounts underneath that, which allows us to seamlessly transition from one client that we're working on right to the next one without having to worry about logging in and logging out of accounts all day long. So I think those are the majority of the features that we use through Vertical. So obviously, we use the open and click reports. And you know, all that stuff in the back end as far as the actual email goes, being able to track the results. We track the bounces of emails, so we can give those to our clients so that they can follow up and get a correct email address and stuff like that. But I think those are the major features that we use on a regular basis.
And speaking of emails, one of the things that Andre also enjoys in our system is the ability to use the WYSIWYG email designer that we have. We have a variety of options, but the nice thing about the WYSIWYG editor is that we have templates that you can use and a toolbar that's super easy. But if you want to be able to tweak things and you know a little HTML, you can jump right into the HTML code from here as well. So it's very flexible in giving you the ability to edit an email at your level that you feel comfortable in using different technology. So if you're not really comfortable, it's fine. You can use the toolbar and make a great email. If you know a little bit more, you can jump into the HTML code and do a little bit more as well. And question number 3, what do you like best about Vertical Response?
You know, it's kind of tough because I don't really want to just pick one thing, because if I pick one thing, then it means that something else may not be as valuable as the other. So I have to pick a couple things that I like best about Vertical Response. The first thing is that the customer service is absolutely out of this world. We have David, who's our dedicated account manager. He calls me at least once a month just to check in, make sure everything's going well. And 9 times out of 10, every time he calls, I have a question about something that I just never got around to calling him and asking him. So I really appreciate that. And they're always good about, you know, getting back to me if I have questions with anything. The other thing I really like is the compliance. You know, we sign up multiple clients every single month. We're always adding new accounts to our sub-accounts. And their compliance department is always verifying the emails that we're sending out. And I like that. You know, some people go, oh, it's such a pain in the butt because they always got to verify these emails are valid and that these are good and they want a purchase list. But I like that because what that tells me is that it's just, you know, that Vertical Response is doing this for everybody and that they're verifying everybody's email addresses. So I know that when we're sending emails out, that these are going to be good emails and that these are going to get delivered properly because Vertical Response is checking up and making sure that everybody is following those same rules. So that's the other thing. And then the final thing I like is just the Vertical Response platform itself is so fantastic. It's so user-friendly. I can't really communicate how simplistic it is to use. And, I mean, just logging into the dashboard, you see everything right there of what you need. You know, the big information is right there in front of you. You can go down to smaller reports and find out detailed information so easily. You know, it's just an awesome interface to work with. So I'd say those are probably the top 3 things I like best about Vertical Response.
So question number 4, how has Vertical Response grown or improved your business?
Oh, boy. Well, I mean, you know, when we decided to go down the road of sending emails for our clients, the need that we had was said, okay, first of all, we need to be able to log in and out of clients' accounts very easily, back and forth, without having to do that. We also wanted our clients to be able to log into their own accounts. And so when we found Vertical Response, it seemed to be a perfect fit at the time. You know, we weren't quite sure. It just seemed to fit the needs that we had. Since we started with Vertical Response, you know, as a company, we're a small company, so we always make mistakes. Every decision we think is wrong. And so we always second-guess ourselves, and we always look back and see what else we can change and do new. And quite honestly, in the last 1.5 to 2 years since we've been with Vertical Response, it's never been a question in our mind is if vertical response is the correct road to use. So basically, we ended up building all of our systems of our business, all of our checklists are based around the vertical response platform. So, I mean, that's helped us go from 34 clients to over 120 clients now, which in revenue dollars, that's from about 180,000 to over about $800,000 a year in revenue. So, I mean, it's been absolutely monumental in our business as far as helping our scalability and being able to get things done. I couldn't imagine running a business without it.
Question 5, how often do you send out emails?
The oftenest of the emails, we tell our clients we want to send out 2 emails a month, just to keep spam complaints low, and we don't want to bombard people's inboxes. The information we send out is educational, so it's not too bad. But we shoot for 2 emails a month. We go for the 1st and the 15th of every month. But we all know that nobody gets their stuff in on time like it needs to be. So I'd say on the average, we're probably sending out between 300,000 and 500,000 emails a month. But for each client, it's about 2 emails a month is what we push for.
So question number 6. Have you used or participated in any of our demos, webinars, videos, how-tos, etc.? And how helpful were they?
Yeah, we're a growing firm, so we're always hiring new staff. We're up to about 9 employees right now. And so, I mean, I personally had used some of the webinars when we first started with Vertical Response. After I got to know the systems and everything of how it worked, I got to know it pretty well. And I can just show people the simple stuff to use. But, a lot of times people have questions. They go, they want to know if they can do something in the system. And the webinars and the pre-recorded videos that Vertical Response has been extremely helpful. We just use it as part of our training process. When somebody new comes on, I tell them to go watch all the videos that Vertical Response has so that they can see the system and kind of how everything works. I haven't been on too many of the webinars themselves, but as far as the training videos, have been absolutely fantastic.
And last but not least, question number 7. What do you like best about your industry or category, and what keeps you going?
What I really like best about us is, that we're helping people. Being able to help clients make money, really. I have clients tell me that, we send videos out for them they got last week that they've been trying to get a hold of for months. So a lot of real estate agents have people in their database they haven't been in contact with. And once they send out a video email, which the video makes it very personal, they can see the person on video. They call them up and say, hey, let's sign a contract. Let's get things going. So when I hear success stories from our clients, knowing, and people say, oh, yeah, they see them in the supermarket. They go, hey, Bob, I got your video. Hey, Joe, I see your videos. I love that content. Keep sending it to us. And I know that our clients are making way more money than what they're paying us every single month. So our clients make a ton of money. We make some money. And it's kind of a win-win for everybody. So as long as, I guess that's what keeps me happy is that I know we're helping people grow their business. I know we're helping people make money. And if we can make a little bit of money at the same time, then it's pretty awesome.
Thank you so much, Andre. So we're going to switch it up a little bit, and Derek is going to talk a little bit about social media. So we've talked about our email and partner product a little bit, and now Derek is going to talk about social.
I just wanted to make the transition. Something that stuck in my head, what Andre said, was bringing benefit to your clients or your customers. And I think that rolls right into social media. Just
sure.
Like what you're doing with your emails. If you're not bringing benefit, people can unsubscribe. With social, if you're not bringing great content that is beneficial to them in some way or fashion, they're either going to unfollow you or they're going to go someplace else and try to find that. So we just want to roll into this and talk a little bit about how social media can complement email also. And a lot of people get scared of social. They don't know what it is. They don't know why they need to even deal with it. But it is really taking the marketing world by storm. And you hear about a lot of these big brands, but what I deal with a lot, especially working here at Vertical Response, is we have a lot of smaller clients that are really leveraging this. And what it does for you is it gives the mom and pop shops a great advantage because they can be more nimble and they can really localize their messages within social. But we want to talk about maybe your strategy. First of all, there's a lot of different platforms out there. You can see the little chiclets that I have on the bottom of there. There's a lot of different social platforms.
That's just scratching the surface.
Yeah, they're just barely scratching the surface. There are a lot of platforms out there, and not everyone is going to work with every type of business. If you're talking about something like Instagram, which is, for photos, that might work really, really well with, that restaurant, taking photos of your dishes and whatnot. But it may not work great on, like, say, LinkedIn, because that's more of a business network, and it just, putting photos up on LinkedIn just
daily special.
Yeah, it just might not work for you. So don't think you have to be on everything. Now, the only caveat that I will say to that is, with Facebook in particular, everybody has heard of Facebook. There's a lot of people that are on Facebook. They're getting close to the 1 billion active user level, and so that is a great platform if you're just brand new to the social media thing. Is maybe to look into that, because it is a quicker way to get into a larger network. You really need to be strategical about what you're trying to do on social. People that just go out there and say, I'm going to do everything all at once, you get really pulled very thin, and you really need to have an idea of who you're going after and why you're going after them on these different platforms. So the best thing to do is to really kind of test some different things, try some different platforms, and maybe, like, what Andre's talking about, if you already have a database that you can match against, you might be able to find that your customers are already on Facebook and might be easily transitioned into a business page, or they might already be on Twitter where you could communicate with them. So a lot of these platforms are already being used by your customers, and if you're communicating them in one way, like email, it makes it a little bit more simple to transition to start communicating to them on these other platforms. Because the great thing against email versus social, and that's why they complement each other so well, is email, you're going to only do that on a less frequent basis. You're not going to be emailing them twice a day, every day. With social, if you're putting out great content, you can actually do that. You can actually put content out there, twice a day, and people are still consuming that. Another thing you need to do is don't be afraid to ask for advice, and that's, you could come to us with our webinars or our different demos that we do, and look for different information.
Ask on social media. People are happy to answer. I'm
going to go through this really quickly. We will have, obviously, this available afterwards, but on your social media strategy, I'm going to touch a couple of points. One thing is you got to be consistent. You can't just do this for a week and then drop off the face of the earth. People get accustomed to getting this content, and they want to come back and keep getting that. You need to really, this is a dialogue. This is not a monologue. You want to be able to interact with the people. So you need to listen, respond, and have a conversation. You need to keep the moderation aspect. A lot of people get scared about social. They're like, oh my God, what if my competition comes in and starts spamming my wall? There are checks and measures within the platforms where you can get rid of those people if they do come in and do that. But it doesn't happen that frequently. But the more that you can be transparent with your messages and your content, the better. People like to share great content. If you're sharing great content, like Andre was talking about, these videos, you can put these videos up on a Facebook page. People are going to start sharing that on their own. And so that's where you can get a viral aspect from social, which is a little bit more challenging in email, but it still happens. But this is a lot easier for that to happen. And then, just like Andre was talking about, you're not going to want to talk about every time you sold a home. The content can't be all about you. There's an 80-20 rule within social. 80% needs to be just beneficial, informative content. 20% can be about you and your business. But most importantly, you need to cross-market your social presence on your other marketing channels, whether that be email or offline marketing, like advertising. It can even be down to being in your email signature. I know Janine, our CEO, puts all of her social channels on her signature, so people can easily get to that. But again, this last point is, you don't want to just be asking people for stuff. You don't want to be asking for their business. You want to provide benefit to those people, and hopefully that in turn is going to get them the motivation to come back and ask you for your services. So let's roll really quickly into VR Social. We obviously have a social side to our platform that complements our email. One of the great things about this is that you can manage multiple accounts. So we service Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You can service all of those social content, all those social networks and content from one dashboard. So you don't have to keep going back into LinkedIn and coming out and then going back into Facebook and all that. You can do it all from one. But there is a note that you need to know which platform you're sending out to, because I've seen it happen before where people just click all the buttons to all the channels and then send something out that's not really appropriate for a certain channel. You can post across all your networks simultaneously. The cool thing is you can schedule multiple posts at the same time. So let's say, for example, like Andre was talking about, a real estate agent. Real estate agent could come in on a Monday morning, first thing in the morning, spend less than 30 minutes and have content that's going to be going out that entire week. So if they get busy with their business, they're not having to worry about, oh my God, I didn't post anything to Facebook today. It's already in the queue. And then the cool thing about the back end of the platform is that you can interact with all of the comments or people contacting you back from your post within the platform, so you don't have to go back into Facebook or Twitter. And then it also really allows you to organize your posts, because you can see it in a calendar view. You can really see how you're distributing your content, and then we give you analytics on how it's performing, so you can really see if this content is resonating with your audience. And then again, like the real-time notifications, you get those. If someone comments on that, it comes back into the platform and you can comment back to them right away. We have two kind of aspects also. This is more in the email side of it, is the social sharing. So when Andre's talking about his client sending out an email, he can include the social sharing aspect to it. So if that newsletter goes out, you can click on your Twitter account or your Facebook account, and then that also goes out to those channels. And then people, when they click on it, can go right back to a hosted version of your newsletter. This is our actual VR Social platform. And again, what it allows you to do is you can send out a single post, or you can build a campaign. And the campaign is the more interesting part of the platform, because you could just go into Facebook and put up a post. But to build multiple posts in one campaign and have that all scheduled for a week is really, it's phenomenal. I mean, you can really do a lot with a little effort. And we also have a content engine in this, so you can, based on your industry, is you can get content that's right in the platform and share that with your audience.
So you don't have to make it all up all by yourself.
Exactly, and that's what I'll show you right here is on the
point.
post section. So if you see the first headline up there, it says links. That's where you would go in, and when you set up the platform, you set it up under your industry, and then that content comes right to you. A new product that we just announced a couple weeks ago is our coupon product also. So now you can build a coupon within Facebook or as a standalone page, and you can have daily deals, you could have weekly deals, you could have monthly deals, and people can print this coupon out and then come into your physical location. So now this is not only interacting with them on social, but it also gives them the opportunity to come into your location and get a some kind of discount on something. And so it's just a great way to start to build traffic. And then the final product that we just announced a couple weeks ago is a product called Clipper. And Clipper is really cool because you can now be searching out there on the web, and let's say you come across an article that you know would be just great for your audience. Instead of copying that URL and going back into the thing, you can just hit the Clipper tool, which you can upload into your browser, your web browser, and then easily clip that. In a couple of days, we're going to be announcing a new version of this, so you can just clip it and send it right then, or you can clip it and then put it into your platform and put it out at a later date. So a lot of great things for VR Social, Jill.
Absolutely. So that wraps up our webinar, at least what we're going to present. For more information about our partner program, there is information on the screen right there. We also have a website. I suppose I should have put that up there. It's partners.verticalresponse.com, and that has some more information as well. But there are people standing by waiting to take your call if you have a question, and they'll be happy to answer that.